I'm Emily P. Freeman, and welcome to The Next Right Thing. You're listening to episode 386. This is a podcast about making decisions, but also about making a life. If you struggle with decision fatigue, chronic hesitation, or if you just need a few minutes away from the constant stream of information and the sometimes delightful but distracting hum of entertainment, you're in the right place for discerning your next right thing. I'm an author, a spiritual director, and an occasional workshop leader. I live in North Carolina with my family, and through my work, I've helped thousands of spiritually thoughtful people overcome decision fatigue so that they can discern their next right thing in faith, work, and life. If you continue to struggle with knowing how to carry the hard stuff without becoming cynical, angry, or sad all the time, and also knowing how to carry the good stuff without feeling guilty or succumbing to toxic positivity, you're in the right place. Listen in. There's a hymn we used to sing in church as I was growing up called Count Your Blessings. You probably know it. The tune was bright and sing-songy. And the first verse was, "When upon life's billows you are tempest-tossed, when you are discouraged, thinking all is lost, count your many blessings, name them one by one, and it will surprise you what the Lord hath done." As a glass is half full kind of kid, this hymn was my jam. I liked the idea of focusing on the positive, of looking at what was good and the gifts life had to offer. It's a good practice. It's one I still engage to a degree. The downside of the practice could be a temptation to try to ignore or bypass the hard stuff for the sake of the good stuff. Just count your blessings, name them one by one. Now, the majority of people listening to this podcast, it's a big range, but most of you are between the ages of 34 and 64, which means we are well into adulthood. We know the reality of paradox and that we can be both grateful for the gifts and honest about the struggles all at the same time. We know this. We can do this. Still, even though we know better, there can be a quiet expectation that runs beneath the surface of us that worries if we talk too much about the hard stuff, then we will sound ungrateful. And if we talk or ruminate too much about the good stuff, then people might think that we're being dishonest or inauthentic. For years, I couldn't fully articulate this desire that I had to find a way to do both with full honesty, to truly receive and hold the gifts of the moment and to truly receive and hold the sorrows of the moment. It wasn't balance I was looking for. I don't think we know better than thinking that the good can ever appropriately outweigh the bad. I appreciate what Shannon Martin says about balance when it comes to counting our blessings. She says, "How many breathtaking sunrises will it take to cancel out a crushing divorce or diagnosis?" And we all know, obviously, there is no number. We know that's not the way. But also sometimes subconsciously, we think that way. So when Shannon started talking about counterweights as this way of practicing the reality of our whole lives, I was paying attention. She writes this: "This is not a silver lining situation where pain and injustice are minimized for the sake of flimsy optimism or playing nice. It's not even about hoarding our favorite things. We are not guaranteed to have those things within our reach. The practice of gathering counterweights is about creating moments of sustenance from the raw materials of what we're given. It is about holding everything in honest tension, both and. Our counterweights help us move forward and breathe through the heaviness." So, I've started to make my own list. The weight. Several local businesses in my hometown have closed their doors recently. In fact, it feels like a record amount, and it all happened right around the same time. It's sad for 100 reasons. It's sad for the businesses, for the owners, for their families, for the employees who worked there, and it's also sad for the community as a whole. Some of these places have been around for decades, and it feels strange that they're not there anymore. And personally, it pokes what feels like a young place inside of me that wants everything to stay the same. The counterweight. Some local chefs in our town have linked arms to form a new business called Too Many Cooks in the Kitchen. They're offering the convenience of a multi-meal prep subscription and takeout from all of our downtown restaurants all in one box. There's 3 different boxes you can choose from, and there's 5 different restaurants per box. It's sort of like HelloFresh or Blue Apron, but instead of getting a box of ingredients from, I don't know, a warehouse somewhere, a kitchen that I don't know of, and having to make the food ourselves, we pick the box up of already made food that we just have to heat up. But we get delicious food from local places in our own town, and we get to support existing restaurants as they try to find creative solutions to keep their businesses running. Here's another weight. There is war and talk of war in nearly every major headline. I hardly even know where to begin to process it. You might feel the same way. When I pay attention to how it feels to hear that the US joined with Israel to attack Iran, I had that same feeling I had when I was little. And this might sound really strange, but I'm just telling you honestly how it feels. It reminds me of being really young, living in Indiana, when there was a tornado warning and we didn't have a basement. So my mom would take me and my sister over to our neighbor's house, and we would go down in their basement and wait out the storm because they had a basement, we didn't. But our dad would never come with us. Never mind that we never had a close enough call for it to really be any significant danger. Never mind that my mother was somewhat of an anxious person. Never mind that our neighbors themselves, whose basement we were in, never joined us down there because they did not see the threat. The point is that I had a terrible feeling that a storm is coming and Dad is going to be swept away, and there's nothing I can do. And that is the memory that came to mind when I saw the headline that the US and Israel had struck Iran. A counterweight. The hellebore and the tulip trees are blooming. So is the camellia bush in our front yard. March in central North Carolina is hard to beat. More weights. Aging. More questions than answers. Loneliness. Relational missteps. A missed deadline. An impending goodbye. Counterweights. A handwritten note. Longer daylight. The ladies of my Zumba class. An audiobook. My walking pad. Cortados with a splash of hazelnut. The soundtrack of Love Story on Hulu. An open window in the morning. At their best, Shannon writes, they can't be bought or sold. They aren't a matter of luck or reserved for the privileged. They are widely accessible and casually weird, entirely personal and communal to their core. They are their own reward, and they are happening all the time, ready to steady us on our feet. The bad news is that there will always be weights. The good news is we always have the choice to counter them. The ingredients for hope are whatever's available now. You can read an entire book of essays about what this can look like in everyday life. Counterweights, an essential practice for holding hope in a heavy world by Shannon Martin is out today wherever books are sold. Here's to seeing the hard parts without looking away, and to be willing to grieve and act and be honest where we can, to participate with hope. Here's to seeing the good parts without looking away, and to being willing to laugh and rest and embrace where we can, to participate in joy. Here's to doing our next right thing in love. Thanks for listening to episode 386 of The Next Right Thing. I hope this simple practice of countering your weights can be just one more rung on the trellis upon which your rhythm of life can continue to grow. Because while it's true this is a podcast about making decisions, the bigger truth is our daily decisions are making our lives. If you are someone who regularly struggles with knowing how to navigate the good things in life when everything is also terrible, Counterweights is the book for you. Because the reality is we can and we must do both. Shannon's encouragement to name the weights and the counterweights is one of the primary practices that is saving my life this year, reminding me of how to have hope with integrity, the kind that can see the light without denying the reality of the shadows. Counterweights is available now wherever books are sold. Check out Shannon's book tour dates, by the way. She might be coming to a town near you. And if you're in North Carolina, I will be joining her to talk about counterweights in Davidson at Main Street Books on April the 9th. That's a Thursday evening from 7 to 9. You can grab a ticket to reserve your spot. I would love to see you there. Details are in the show notes. Come say hi. As always, you can find me online at emilypfreeman.com or on Instagram at emilypfreeman. This episode was edited by the team at Unmutable and organized by Ashley Sherlock. In closing, a few more words from Shannon's brand new book, Counterweights. On any given day, we will feel weary and rested, satisfied and demanding, grateful and scared. Life will keep throwing lemons, but that's just one more reason to keep butter in the fridge. It's the best, it's the worst. It's lemon curd. Thanks for listening, and I'll see you next time.